and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. Come on, man. Wait. I shook up the wall.
I bear witness there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thank you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition on Split Decision. With me today, I have the one and only Jose Benavidez Sr. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good, man. Thank you so much for inviting me here to your show, man.
My pleasure. It's always great having you on Split Decision. There's a lot to talk about. First of all, I do want to congratulate you on the victory against Ellis. How you assess David Benavidez's performance?
You know what? I thought, to be honest with you, I thought we were going to stop Ellis maybe like in about 5-6 rounds. I was watching some of his fights, but this kid, man, came ready. He only had one defeat, never been stopped before. I take my hat off of him. He did a great job, man. He didn't want to go out. David did a good job, in my opinion. He got him with a lot of body shots, uppercuts, pretty much everything. And Ellis had a tremendous heart, and he gave us a really good fight.
If you rate your son's performance as far as A, B, C, D, what would you give your son? A grade level?
I would give him a B, somewhere around there, like a B. I think he could have done a little bit more, and he could have done better, I think. But I was very satisfied with the performance he did. But he has a lot of room to improve and get better. I'll tell you right now, I think we had to work a little bit more on moving the head a little bit and staying a little bit low. He was staying a little bit high. Watch his balance a little bit. But overall, I think we still got work to do, and I think he could do much better.
Yeah, well, as far as excitement, it was A++, because he threw 1,000 punches. It seems like at in one of them rounds. So, did you know that Ellis was training with Canelo and he was Canelo's sparring partner? Were you informed on that?
I already knew about Ellis, but like about 5-6 years ago. Actually, a couple of times I talked to his team to coordinate something for sparring with David, because I knew he was a good hard worker and a good fighter. But we never got to that because I believe one time he got his shoulder injured, and so we never sparred. But I knew that he was sparring with Canelo, and he's been with Canelo's camp for a couple of camps already. So I knew there was a reason why Canelo has him in his camp, because he's a really good fighter.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously, the topic that's still trending to this day is David Benavidez versus Jermall Charlo. When asked about David Benavidez, Charlo recently responded when he was asked about the September date. He said, "Let's make the fight. Let's make it happen. I will knock out David Benavidez inside 6 rounds." Well, what's your take on Jermall Charlo agreeing to fight your son on September?
He's a duck, man. He doesn't want to make that fight. He started talking a lot and saying that he was going to break David's neck and he was going to knock him out in 2 rounds. He said also that I put it on everything that I love, that I want that fight. Give me that fight. I saw that video. I got excited. I thought, hey, finally this guy, wants to fight us. He's just a show, man. I believe that. I think that he thought that he could punk David, but David's not going to get punked that easy. We won that fight. We know that Charlo's a good fighter. He's one of the best fighters pound for pound right now. He's a very dangerous fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters also, and I believe that that will be a really tough fight for us and for him. But he needs this fight. We need this fight in order to be the best and make history in boxing. These are the kind of fights that people want to see, and we want that fight. This guy is just bullshit. He's just talking a lot of shit. Him and his trainer. Now his trainer is saying that, oh no, he's gonna stay at 160. Oh, David doesn't bring anything to the table. What do you mean David doesn't bring anything to the table? If Charlo beats David, he'll be one of the best fighters at 168 or 160, whatever. He said he wanted to come out to 168. Uh, we never said nothing about him. He's the one that said that he wanted to come up to 168.
Right. Well, he did also say to Brian Custer, he said that I will be ready tomorrow. He a little kid. He can't touch me. So what is the next step? Is to make this fight, to get this fight, to take, obviously he said he want to probably get a tune-up, but for the September date, what will it take to get this fight done if he's sincere? What does he have to do?
If he's saying that he's a little kid, oh, that he got hit a lot on the fight, this and that, so why not fight him? It's so easy. Why not show the Mexicans? Why not show his people that he could beat David? It's an easy fight to make. We're with the same promotion company. I reach out to him. I send him a DM on his Instagram. Hey, I heard you want to fight David. Let's do this fight. With all the respect, you deserve. You're a good fighter, but you need this fight. We need this fight. Let's make it happen. Have not received any response from that. There's no. I can't go to Al Heyman and make this fight if his team does not want the fight. So the team has to agree first. He has to agree to make this fight, and it will be so easy to make. We want that fight. He doesn't want to fight. So there's no way. He's just talking a lot of shit, like I say. Toughen up, man. Let's make this fight happen.
And when you say agree, you mean not agree in public, but tell Al Heyman behind closed doors that you want the fight. That's
exactly. And it should be easy to make. It should be easy, super easy to make. We're not even talking about money. So I understand. I'll give him the. We'll be the B side. He could be the A side. I don't care about that. I just want the opportunity. I just want to give this fight to the people. But like I said, they're just talking a lot, and like I said, they wanted to intimidate us. I believe that's what I think they wanted to do, but they have no balls. They're not lions like they say they are. I think it's just talks. Let's make it happen.
So you guys willing to be the B side to make this fight happen? You're willing to give
for our people,
Charlo the A side and all the above?
For our people, for the people that want to see this fight, we're willing to do whatever. Whatever it takes to make history in boxing, we'll do whatever. Money, belts does not matter to us. It's about doing legacy, making history. That's what matters to us.
Well, I hate to give you bad news, Jose Benavidez, but on that same interview, Charlo did say that he's not going to move up from 160 until 2 to 3 fights from now, which go hand to hand with what his trainer said, which is they're going to stay at 160 for a year and a half. For 1 year and a half.
Why would you open your mouth? That you're going to break somebody's neck. You're putting it on everything you love. To me, he's talking about his family, I think, because to me, everything I love is my family. Why would you even bring him up to that, that you want the fight, that you want to make it happen? And now your trainer comes to defend you and says that, no, you're going to stay at 160. Only if you fight Canelo, you'll come up to 168. So that tells everybody that he's scared to fight David Benavidez. He does bring a lot to the table. His trainer doesn't even know what he's talking about either. Charlo beating David Benavidez will take him to another big level. And this fight could also be a pay-per-view fight, David Benavidez against Charlo. It will be a very exciting fight that people want to see.
Oh, it's definitely a pay-per-view fight. You can have my money right now. If this fight get made, I'm paying for the fight right now, even if it's all the way in September.
So that's what I don't understand. People want to see that fight, So when his trainer, what's his name? Shields.
Yeah,
What's the name?
Shield. Yeah.
Shields. You know,
Yeah.
when he said that David does not bring anything to the table, you know, I I don't even know what is he talking about. You know, this is a great fight. This is a good fight. Very exciting fight. A very dangerous fight for both teams.
You would agree that the winner will have a chance of fighting Canelo Alvarez because the pressure will be so much that Canelo will have to pay attention to the winner. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. I will agree 100% because then the winner man would love to see that fight with Canelo, and that would generate even more of whatever, more views, more money, or whatever there is. Us, like I said, we just want the opportunity to show the people what we have, and hopefully one day we can show the people what we have against Canelo. Another tough, very dangerous fight.
Yeah, I just lost you for a second. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, yeah, you just cut off for a second.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
what I
I
said
agree.
was,
Yeah, we heard you. So there's so in other words, there is a lot on the table for this fight. You know, when we talk about the winner could face Canelo, there is a lot. I mean, so I don't understand why they don't see it because there's a
yeah,
lot of backlash on Charlo behalf. I mean, or end. There's a lot of he receiving a lot of backlash. So what's
I
your thoughts on
believe
that?
that I believe that there is a lot on the table. You know, these guys are so used to not fighting guys. These guys always want to fight somebody that they can know they're gonna win. Uh, uh, 30, 70. Uh, something. But this is a 50-50 fight. But these are the fights that we want to get. We want to give you guys, the good fights. And at the end of the day, man, you know we're not thinking about losing, but it doesn't matter sometimes. You gain more fans, you gain more fans when you fight the good fights, and you give people the really good fights, and you're not afraid of nobody because everybody works so hard to buy the networks, like the zones, the show times, and all that, man. We work so hard for that we want to see really good fights. At the end of the day, uh, they just want to be entertained, and we're willing to do that and test ourselves also.
Yes, sir. Now, when Charlo says, which I quote, "I don't get this whole duck situation. I'm a champion at 160. David doesn't have a belt. People just not being smart."
See, that's
So,
what I'm saying. It's all about business. It's all about business. When he says the same thing that Caleb Plant says, right? David, does he have a belt? David doesn't have a belt. Why would I fight David if he doesn't have a belt? But guess what? Who the Truex have a belt? Charlo's fighting. Is he gonna fight somebody with the belt? So see, that tells you everything. These guys are ducks. They just don't want to have hard fights. They don't want to risk their records. So that's what happens. Everybody. Canelo is also saying the same thing about David. Oh, he gets hit a lot. Oh, he's an easy fight. Well, if he's so easy, you think he'll be easier than Jindrum? You think he'll be easy than all the other these other fighters? Uh,
right.
well, let beat him up. David has a name right now. David is willing to fight all these guys. So if he's so easy for all these guys, it's all about a business now for all these guys. They don't want to lose. They want to keep their belts. They want to keep their undefeated records. That's we're not looking for that. We are looking to test ourselves and to give you guys a good fight. And I'm gonna keep saying that we just want those good fights. It doesn't matter if we win or lose, but we think we are gonna win because we are training hard. And these guys, they don't even have the balls to make the fights happen.
Yeah. So when Charlo says, "Why should I?" Oh, hold on. I think Jose, you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I can see you.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, you bet. Yeah, so when Charlo says, "Why should I move up to 168?" He pretty much, from what I got from the interview, he want to grow to the weight naturally. He does not want to move up to 168 right away because, according to him, he is a big jump, and David Benavidez is a big kid. So uh, he keeps saying, or what is there for him? Is there a title eliminator on the line? Is there a belt? What kind of award is there for me? I don't.
Well,
So
there is. We just fought for the eliminator for the 168. Hopefully, next fight we can fight for the diamond belt or something. We're there. It will definitely be an eliminator to fight Canelo or something. But you don't even need that. Once you fight David and you beat David, you go straight to Canelo. So if he's so easy, make a lot of money and go to Canelo. Make more money. Does it make sense? He's the one that opened his mouth and said that he wanted to fight David. He even got what's that guy's name? His blessing. The guy that we fought.
Anthony Darrell, Anthony Darrell.
Anthony Darrell. That's when he started. Hey, you got my blessing. He gave him his blessing to go to 168. Then he says he's gonna break David's neck. Then he says and so what do we say? Let's make it happen. Then everything stopped. Now the trainer jumped in and said, no, I'm not. He's not gonna go. There's nothing in the table. Don't you agree though that once he beats David for an eliminator, also he will get that fight with Canelo after he fights Sanders and then maybe fight Caleb Plant. That's a fight for sure. After that, Canelo does not have any more fighters. We don't have
Yeah, I
any more
definitely.
fighters. He doesn't
Right.
have any more fighters. So let's make this fight happen.
I definitely agree. I think if Charlo does move up a weight, the winner will force Canelo to get in the ring with him.
Yeah,
Regardless if he
another
wants
thing,
to or not.
I wanna point another thing too. I want to thank all Charlo's fans, for their support because they did support him like I did, But now they found the truth about Charlo. He's a duck, So all his fans are our fans now because they're supporting us because we want to fight one of the best fighters there is with a lot of respect. He's a good fighter, but he's just a duck, and people don't like to be represented by a duck, you know. So I mean, little by little too, I mean, he's not going to have a choice, or either he shut his mouth up, and not talk and not say nothing about 168, and nobody will bother him, But his mistake is that he wanted to intimidate David at 168, and David's not going to get intimidated that easy.
Right. Now his plan supposedly he said I will stay at 160 to fight Andre before fighting David Benavidez and do my thug. Now even though we know Andre is with DAZN, but Benavidez is with the PBC, just like Charlo, so the fight is easier to make. So I don't understand why I bring
I
up Andre
understand.
all of a sudden. So what's your thoughts on his comments of rather fighting Andre instead?
The only thing that I can think about this guy is duck, man. He's a duck, He's just I have no respect for this guy anymore. He's not a true champion. He's not a lion like he says he is. I don't think he's gonna break nobody's neck. I don't think he's gonna knock nobody out in 1 round, 2 rounds. Also, that goes for his trainer. That says that we don't bring anything to the table. I mean, now the trainer says that David doesn't have a belt. I guarantee you, his next fight, he's gonna fight somebody that has losses and has no belt. So what are they talking about? These guys are going nuts, They're I don't know what they're thinking, How are you going to prove to your people that you're the best fighter if you're ducking people and you said that you don't want to fight David because he doesn't have a belt, you know? I mean, that's a good fight, man.
Right. Now Charlo did say one like I was telling you earlier. He kept bringing up the weight. He always brought up the weight. He kept Hello?
Are you there? I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. The whole, studio crashed on me. Yeah, but we
We're
still
here.
live
We're
though.
here.
We still live. Yeah, yeah,
No worries.
yeah. So I think let me just check. We back live. Yeah, I think we back live again. Yep. Yeah, I'm
All
sorry
right, bye.
about that.
No, no worries. No worries, bro.
Yeah, so Charlo kept bringing up this size disadvantage, and he said that he relies on his power, so that's why he want to move up in weight and not rush. So do you think that's his main concern? Is that stylistically he relies on his power and his counterpunching ability, and he wants to make sure he could keep David Benavidez off? Do you think that he concerned about David Benavidez size, ability, hand speed, and power?
He's concerned about
Oh,
everything, man. He's concerned about David's speed, power. He's bigger than him. He has bigger balls than him. Everything. He's younger than him. He's hungrier than him. And I think that's why, if it was an easy fight, don't you think they will make that fight? Because he is gonna generate a lot of money, and he is into money. And if he thought it would be an easy fight, now he doesn't know how to get out of David, because he did a lot of talking, and now he got himself into it, and now he doesn't know how to get out. But that's bad for
right.
his fans and everybody around the world.
Yes, sir. Now, David Benavidez is currently in a title eliminator. He won his the one he's in against Ellis. Now, on the other hand, Anthony Durrell fought Davis, but it was ruled a draw. So,
Yeah. So there's
what's
no,
what's the next step? Yeah. So, what's the
well,
next step
that
if
that
it's
was the
not
thing.
Charlo?
The next step, we had to fight. I thought Anthony Durrell was gonna win. I didn't really want that fight because I don't think Anthony Durrell, is the fight that the fans want to see, because we already beat him and David stopped him. But I was winning to fight him, but I had no choice if he would have won the eliminator, so he got a draw. Now there's David just it gets closer to a bigger fight. And but these fighters, they're all scared of David. Like I said, they don't want to fight him. They say that he's easy. They say that um they're gonna stop him. But at the end of the day, we just have to wait, continue working, and keep fighting. And hopefully, like I said, after Canelo fights Caleb Plant, we're willing to fight. I think Canelo's going to stop Caleb Plant. And we want to fight Caleb Plant after he loses to Canelo. We still want that fight because that's more personal for David. He wants to beat Caleb Plant. He wants to beat him up. So that fight could be still happen. I don't think he's going to win. But if for some reason something happens with Canelo after that fight, he doesn't have any more fighters. He's going to have to fight. Now he's also saying that he's not going to fight any Mexicans. This other duck is saying that David doesn't have a belt. He has to get vaccinated and all that stuff. Canelo, on the other hand, says that he's not going to fight any Mexicans. The other Caleb Plant is not going to fight anybody because he wants to sit down and wait for the fight to happen with Canelo. So, I mean, I feel good, actually. We're in a good position, because nobody wants to fight David. And eventually, you know what? They're going to have to fight because the people want to see this fight. So we just got to stay focused, disciplined, keep working hard, and these fights are going to happen.
Right now, Canelo, he fought Ivini Yildirim. What was your take on that performance? And
That was a
the
terrible
result?
fight. I think it was a terrible fight. It was a boring fight. It was something that we didn't expect. I thought Yildirim was going to give him a little bit fight. I thought he was going to fight for his country. He gave up. He didn't try to do anything. I mean, it was bad. It was a bad fight. So, I mean, that's not going to happen with us. We are going to represent our country. We are going to represent our people, all our fans. We are going to die inside the ring. We're going to leave our heart inside the ring, knowing David.
Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts on the WBC? They came out and said that they shouldn't have sectioned that fight, and now they're going to be more strict about mandatories Even though, I mean, Canelo, he requested to fight Avini personally. So, what's your thoughts on, the WBC admitting that they shouldn't have sectioned that fight, even with Canelo request of fighting him for David Benavidez title?
You got to understand. Everybody has to understand. Canelo is the pound for pound right now, the king of the 168 pounders. He's the best fighter in the world. He's the one that's generating all this money. It's sad, but Canelo could do anything he wants in boxing right now because he generates a lot of money. So, he could do whatever he wants. He can fight whoever he wants to a certain point. Like I said, 2 or 3 more fights, they're going to demand that fight with David. He either is going to have to vacate those belts or he's going to have to fight David. But right now, I guarantee you, if Canelo says, I want to go up to cruiserweight, you know, they'll get somebody for him and he'll beat that somebody. Unfortunately, that's what it is right now. And that's what I think. Canelo could do anything in boxing right now, all because people are still watching him and people are still paying to see him. And, and of course he's going to win.
But wouldn't you say, as pound for pound number one, you should fight the best competition? Because if you are the best in the world, you should fight like the second best, at least in your division, instead of fighting someone that don't even belong in the ring with you, like an Avni Yildirim. Wouldn't you say the pound for pound best should be in the ring with people his caliber, like David Benavidez, Charlo, and guys at that level?
I tell you this, I'm trying to create something with David is the people's champ, like Manny Pacquiao, that he fights anybody and wants to give the fans what they want to fight. Canelo, he's a businessman. He's not the people's champ. Mexican people don't even like Canelo. Does it make sense? Because they know that he's a businessman and he's trying to fight all these guys that they think they can beat. Either he catches them old or guys that like Sanders. He already said that after this fight, he wants to retire. So he doesn't even he already lost already with Canelo because he's just going to go get his a paycheck, So that
Yeah.
and people know that. So people are not fooled that easy. So that's why they don't like Canelo. Like I said, he's a businessman now. He doesn't fight for the people. He doesn't represent the people. He represents his money. They want to make money. They're thinking about money, money, money. They already have fights lined up, I never heard of that. Never in boxing. So, he should, like the question you just asked me, he should fight the number one, the number two. But who's going to make him do that? You tell me, or the people can tell me, comment, who's going to make him do that if he doesn't want to do it? He's a franchise fighter. Franchise means also that you don't have to fight nobody. That to me, I don't even understand. I'm confused, But if you want to make history, if you want to be loved by the people, I think you got to fight the number ones, the number twos, maybe even the number threes, because you're at that level. You got to fight. You got to show the people that you are what you say you are and your team, But I mean, he couldn't even stop Chavez Jr., So to me now, there are some questions to me. All of a sudden, he's Superman, I mean, he got caught with steroids, So now, he's cut and he does look strong. All the fighters there in that stable look like monsters now, Look at Oscar Valdez, man. He looked strong, man. He looked really like an animal. I was impressed, But something's happening there, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did fail 2 drug tests in the past, so you never know. And the WBC they increased the computer roll limit, so
let me go back to what I was saying. He generates a lot of money, right? So, a little slap, I mean, hey, don't do it again.
You
I
can
mean,
put it together. Yeah,
I mean, come on, man. I mean, with steroids or without steroids, I think David's going to give the fans a good fight, and he is going to have problems. I'm not saying that we're going to beat him. We're going to try to beat him, but I gotta give him my respects too. He's strong. He's very disciplined, but at the same time, with steroids or without steroids, we are going to give the people a good fight.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Now, what's your thoughts on Saunders? He came out and said, "Listen, I'm not in shape. I haven't been training." Um, so it seemed like I don't know if if he making excuses or he being honest. So what's your thoughts if Canelo gives you guys a call 2 weeks before the fight in case Saunders does pull out? Will David Benavidez jump in?
I always say this, man. You know, in life, every day there's opportunities. You know, this is what David does. Now he's staying disciplined. You guys seen it. We showed you guys. He wants those big fights. In order for him to get those big fights, you know, they are going to come because these guys like to call the people when they're not ready, or give you like 2 weeks, a week notice or whatever, you know. We are going to train. We're going to stay focused. And if they give us a week notice, if they give me a 24-hour, you know, notice, we'll take that fight because I know we're going to be
Oh,
ready, you know. And anything can happen. In my mind, I always think these guys could get injured. Somebody could get injured. They're going to have to replace somebody. Who are they going to replace? Now the people want to see good fights. They're not going to just take anybody. So, I mean, they are going to try to take us, hey, okay, you wanted to fight? Okay, you have it. And then if we're not ready, they're going to start, oh, I thought you wanted to fight. I thought you had balls. So, you know what? We are ready. 100% we're going to be ready.
that's a big statement, Benavidez Senior. Now, I do. Obviously, I think you had a back and forth with Canelo Alvarez trainer, if I'm not mistaken. He said something around the lines, "Why should we fight David Benavidez?" When he
There we
haven't
go
did this,
again.
you know what I'm saying? And then they just fought Avini Yildirim. That's the crazy part.
You
And
know,
they saying, "Why should we fight David Benavidez, who was just the champion that never lost the title in the ring?" So, what's your take on him claiming why should we fight David Benavidez when they just fought Avini Yildirim that have no credentials whatsoever?
there you have another dumbass, trying to say excuses, That belt that Canelo has, that was David's belt, you know. Let me tell you what happened. When David was the champion at 20 years old for the WBC, I reached out to Canelo's team and we wanted to fight Canelo. At that time, he was still big. We wanted to fight Canelo, and I thought he was one of the best fighters up there. They never respond. I never heard nothing from them. So I thought, okay, whatever, no problem. So we kept fighting. So David wins the second belt, right? So again, that was when he was what, 22. So now I reach up to him again, and we told him, hey, he fought from 168. He went to 175. I mean, 160 to 175. He fought Kovalev. So he looked
Right.
good, beat an old guy, he had a lot of problems, So they just took it. They paid that guy to come in, give the belt to Canelo, and he looked really good, right?
Right.
In my opinion, I didn't think he looked good. He got hit a lot, like an amateur. Kovalev was just throwing the jab, 1-2, pa 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 pa, but then he got caught. But he was making Canelo look bad. So he's
Right.
not the guy that people think, the Superman guy. So we wanted that fight at 168. He gave everybody an offer. He gave Sanders, Kalen Smith, Caleb Plant. He gave everybody an offer. But David, the 168, the WBC champion. So I say, hey, let's fight for the WBC 168. No response. Nothing happened. When he fought and he lost the belt and the scale, right away they called the WBC that they said they wanted to fight for the WBC, the 168 championship, right? So that
Right.
belt is David's belt. So I'm thinking, okay, okay, we'll prove that we deserve that fight, 2, 3 fights, but fuckers give us the opportunity, so you can win it legit. You took advantage of that opportunity. How come you never wanted to fight him when he was the champion? You gave everybody this offers, and people don't know that. Does it make sense?
Oh,
But at the same
completely.
time, like I said, I feel good. I feel happy that they're avoiding David because they see the danger that he possesses and he brings to the table. And yeah, they smile. They say that he got hit. That he looked really good against Ronald Ellis. He stopped him. He hit him with body shots, uppercuts, and all that. So, but then at the end of the day, if you think he's so easy, why not give him the opportunity? I guarantee you, a fight with Canelo too will be a great fight, another big fight. a fight that people are going to be excited about. So these guys, his trainer is just talking a lot of shit too. He just wants to. I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell he wants to do.
Right. Well, if David didn't look good or look bad, like they say, they will be jumping in the ring to fight him, and that's for
Right
sure.
away.
Right
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
No doubt about it.
So
But how you feel? I don't know if you know this or not, but let me inform you. Canelo, when he requested to fight Avni Yildirim, that cost him the $365 million contract he had with DAZN because they didn't approve that fight, and he wanted to fight him at all costs. That's how the lawsuit ended up happening, so on and so forth. And surprisingly, he still fought Avni Yildirim. So even though it cost him the whole contract, he still fought this man. But obviously,
but now, guess what? Now they're gonna buy him back again because he is generating a lot of money. They let him go. Now he's coming back, and there's talks about him re-signing with DAZN. But see, that's what I'm saying. Look at this guy. He did the last fight that Jillian fought was like 2 years ago. He fought a guy that had all these losses. It was just a tune-up fight for him. And then he didn't fight for 2 years, and they go and fight that guy instead of David. Like David's an undefeated fighter. David, it's a two-time world champion. David, it's in the record Guinness. So he does bring a lot to the table. But they just want to make it seem like no, David's not worth anything. But yes, they are fighting all these other fighters that they're on the way out or they're about to retire. They're just gonna go and collect the belts, and I mean, but if people pay for that, what can I do? People like to see that, and then they start complaining. Guess what? I think he's gonna look really good against Sanders. He's gonna look good against Plant, but after that, he's gonna have to come and see David Benavidez.
Yeah, and the guy Avni Yildirim, when he lost the fight before that he won, he fought a guy with 3 wins and 33 losses and 3 draws.
Can you believe that? That's, oh my God, exactly. But guess what? But you know what? He was better than David Benavidez, right? And he got knocked out by Eubanks. So there you go, Canelo's trainer. That's hey, he's talking all this shit, but look at what they're doing. It's a business for them. David is a people's champ. David wants to represent Mexico. David wants to represent the United States. David wants to represent all the races.
When Canelo was fighting Avni Yildirim, DAZN said something around the lines, who can beat Canelo? And Teddy, he came out and said, man, how about start off with better competition if you want to find that out?
Exactly.
Right. Now, I do want to ask you, the WBC, the rules say, this is what the rules say. If a fighter fights for a vacant belt, he has to defend his title against 2 mandatories. Now, Canelo, obviously, he fought for a vacant belt because that was David Benavidez's belt. Now, one mandatory supposedly is Avni Yildirim. Okay. Now, what happened to his second mandatory?
You think that's going to happen? You think that's going to happen? Honestly, are they going to make it mandatory? I mean, but we're still there ready, man, for whatever, Canelo, David's only 24 years old. We just got to get better and keep training. And, he's going to go old. All these fighters, there's one time, where they just don't have it anymore. The bodies are tired, So, I mean, it doesn't matter when, but I guarantee you that David's going to be an undisputed champion. If he stays focused, he keeps training hard. I think he's only 24 years old, and 24 years old, he's done a lot and shown a lot. I think every day he's just going to get better and better and better. And I'll tell you right now, the best chance that all these guys have to beat him is now. In a year or 2, he's going to be even more dangerous. So, I mean, that the opportunity is right now for these people to jump and take those fights and don't be cowards.
That's right. Now, so do you? I mean, I don't know what's going on in the sport of boxing, but do they bend and change the rules for certain fighters? Because, like I said, I don't know what happened to Canelo's second mandatory that should have been David Benavidez, since he's ranked #1 on the WBC. So, is that the title eliminator? Is that the whole purpose of that? I don't understand.
Well, in my beliefs, what I believe, you fight for the eliminator, and automatically you go and fight for the title. You know, if the people don't say nothing, if the people don't ask for that fight, I mean, it could be years, you know, um, to fight for that. I mean, I don't think we just gotta keep looking good, keep training, and keep calling these guys and educate the people and tell the people what's happening with boxing and you know we're here, man, to give you guys good fights. We're gonna train hard. We're not ducking anybody. We are just here to do what we're supposed to do, improve ourselves, and try to get better and just have good, exciting fights, man.
Right now, just to last question on the Charlo topic, uh, is there a way to maybe request from the WBC to make the winner of Charlo versus David Benavidez the mandatory for Canelo to please Charlo? Is there a way to do that? Is it possible? Can you petition for something like that?
That Duck and the Ducks team that he has, you know, would never take that fight. You know, these guys are afraid to lose that uh, undefeated record. You know, they're scared, man. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, I mean, uh, if he's so good, if he's so powerful, and if he's, I mean, shut David's mouth. You know, come and fight him. You know, I mean, give the people what they want to see. Um, they don't. First of all, they don't want to fight, man. So why even talk about that? Why even? I mean, like I said, once that fight is made, it's a mandatory because of the people. You know, because it's going to be so exciting that everybody's going to want Canelo now to fight one of these winners, David Benavidez and Charlo.
Right,
No
right.
doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Now, obviously, you know how social media works. When a fighter fights, a lot of fighters react after his victory. Now, when Caleb Plant fought, when Canelo fought Edgar Berlanga, he called out both. He said he want to fight Caleb Plant after his victory. He also said the same thing about Canelo. But when David Benavidez fought, obviously he didn't call him out, nor he wanted to fight him. So what's going on, man? I mean, it seemed like David Benavidez have everybody looking at another direction. So
Well,
uh, what's going? What's
Berlanga,
David? Yeah,
Berlanga, I think he's a really good fighter. He's what? He's like 23, also maybe 24. He's a young fighter. You know, see these people, these fighters sometimes, you know, they don't understand, man. You know, when you come out the Olympics or your amateur fights, uh, they built your careers, man. Like David was built also. You know, um, they put fighters there that you're supposed to stop. David had like what I don't know, like 18, 17 knockouts. And then when he fought all these other fighters, you know, that had more experience, they call it gatekeepers, you know. Then they took him to deep waters, and you know he did win some decisions. Um, but those are the real fighters now. To me, Berlanga, you know, don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter, and I think he hits hard, but who has he fought? You know, can he fight a Porky Medina? Can he beat up Uzcategui? Can he beat Lanal Thompson? Can he beat you know, one of these fighters that are kind of old? Um, and we'll see. You know, if once he goes to the deep, he hasn't even gone like 3, 4 rounds, I think. You know, so his head is big. You know, and maybe his team too. I don't think he's ready for David. I don't think he's ready for Caleb Plant. Man, he's not ready for Canelo, man. You know, to be honest, you know, I mean, it's an embarrassment, man. You know, to be honest with you, why don't you fight other fighters? You know, a little bit. You know, a fight that you can prove us. You know that maybe go 5 rounds, 6 rounds with a fighter that is not done, but it's almost at the end. You know, and then we'll like the names that I showed you. You know, I mean I mentioned. And then you know I think he could be ready. I think if but it's going to take a little bit more time. We haven't even seen what he could do. Um, so I think it's going to take him a little bit of time. David will destroy this kid. You know, I mean, like I said, you know, he hasn't even gone 3 rounds.
right. Now, Eric Morales recently said Canelo is not the best. Crawford and Errol Spence are the best boxers. Canelo doesn't fight the best in their primes. What's your take on the fair criticism by Eric Morales when it came to Canelo? I think he was reacting to the Avni Yildirim fight.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Canelo is the best at 168 right now. Terrence Crawford is the best at his weight. Um, you know, if he fights Earl Spence, we'll see. Who's the best actually. But to me, those are the two best fighters at 147. He's 147, right?
Yeah,
So
147.
Earl Spence is a great fighter too. But until they fight each other, then we're gonna know who's the real pound for pound. Uh, I mean, I don't know why they said that Terrence Crawford is the pound for pound. Canelo is the best pound for pound. In my opinion, I think they're the best pound for pound for now in their division. I think, but that's what I think.
Yeah, well, for Canelo to be the best pound for pound at 168, he do gonna have to see David Benavidez. But I do want to get your prediction if they do fight Errol Spence and Crawford. I'm just curious, who would you favor to that fight?
Man, Crawford's a really good fighter. He fought my son, man, and he proved to be a really, really good fighter. He had troubles fighting Jose Benavidez Jr. He's very intelligent, and Earl Spence, man, too. He's really good at what he does. He has a lot of good tools. If I knew, I would bet on somebody, and I'll probably make some money. But in reality, styles make fights. So we won't know until they face each other. But I guarantee you that we are going to see a really, really good fight, a fight that people want to see. And I guarantee you, everybody's going to leave doing what they're doing to go see this fight. And that's another big fight that will generate a lot of money and a good pay-per-view fight.
If you have to, if you have to, what I'm saying, pick or
All
choose,
right.
who would you pick and choose if you have to? I know it's a very close fight, but
okay, I'm gonna tell you that, and the only reason that I'm gonna go with this other person because, like I said, Terrence Crawford is a good fighter. He has a lot. I just don't like the guy. He talked a lot of shit when we were gonna fight. Disrespect me. They set us up at their gym. So I would love for him to get beat by by Earl Spence. I'm gonna have to go with Earl Spence.
Okay. Now, Virgil Ortiz. I think Virgil Ortiz. Yeah. Virgil Ortiz just fought last week. Do you think he's ready for that type of step up against an Errol Spence or a Terrence Crawford, or would you like to see him test it against a Jose? Your son, Jose Benavidez Jr. What's your thoughts on Virgil Ortiz?
Oh man, another great fighter, man. Another really good fighter. I think Virgil Ortiz has been showing what he has. You know what? He has balls too, and he's not afraid to lose or win. He just wants to give us good fights. I think that could be a really, really good fight. We won't know until we see how he develops, how much he learned from his last fight. I thought it was a very exciting fight, and he was fighting a good fighter with Hooker. To me, it was very exciting. He got hit more than ever he got hit before, but he proved us that he has a lot of heart. He has a good chin. I would definitely love to see that fight with Crawford or Earl Spence and see if he's at that level. We won't know until people give him an opportunity to fight. Right now, these guys don't want to give him an opportunity, so we won't know because I guarantee you that they feel that this kid could give them a lot of trouble. So that's why that's why they don't want to fight him. And I believe that. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Virgil Ortiz too because I know him, and I know his father real well. I know him really good too. But what I like about him that he's not scared and he's willing to risk his undefeated record and to go to the max of what he can do in boxing.
Yeah, he definitely a warrior. But so you know him personally, and you won't put your son up there, in there against him because it's like friendship and family.
Yeah,
right?
really close to him. But my respects because he does have a lot of balls. He wants to take that chance, and I will definitely have to go with them and support them 100%.
Right. And I do want to ask you, and I need your complete honesty on this question. When we spoke last time, you said that Charlo is tougher and more difficult style for David Benavidez. So that's a lot of people started talking. So I'm curious, who would you favor to win between Charlo and Canelo if they do fight? Stylistically, that fight, who would you favor?
I will have to favor Charlo. To be honest with you, I think Charlo is a very slick fighter. He's very unpredictable. He's very slick fighter. He has a lot of abilities, man. He's not a normal fighter, and that's good actually to me. You know, he has a little bit of awkwardness. Uh, he has a good jab, not the best jab like people say, but he does have a good jab. And Canelo, the key is if you have a good jab, you are going to have a lot of problems. So I see a better rounded fighter with Charlo than Canelo. Canelo is just a basic fighter. Canelo, he just comes and loops with those big hooks. Of course, if you stay there, guess what? He generates all that power, and if you get hit, he's going to make some damage. But with Charlo, I don't think Charlo's going to stay there. I think he's going to make a miss, and I think I'm going to have to go with Charlo. And that's why I said that he's a very dangerous fighter. You know, to be honest, I'm going to tell you something. I will feel more comfortable fighting Canelo Alvarez than fighting Charlo. 10 times.
Wow. Well, it says a whole lot, man. It says a whole lot about David Benavidez' character that he willing to call out, Charlo and press all type of buttons, call his bluff when it comes to everything, knowing how dangerous Charlo is. This ain't no Caleb Plant, no disrespect to Caleb Plant, but Charlo, he definitely a beast. And for Benavidez to be going after him like he's not a lion, I mean, it just shows what kind of character, Benavidez, what kind of character he brings to the table. He's definitely a champion in our everybody eyes, with or without a belt. Now, I do. This is a question based on your experience and the feedback you receive. What fighter, if when David Benavidez called out this particular fighter, what fighter is that you start receiving a lot of backlash, if there's any?
Oh, man.
Is there a fighter where David Benavidez calls him out, and instead of people cheering and yeah, let's see the fight, that you receive backlash instead?
No, actually, thank God, we've been having a lot of support. At first, when David was coming up, yeah, you're not ready, you're not this. But I think we've proven ourselves that we are ready to fight all these fighters. And to be honest with you, I hear nothing but good comments. And the worst comment that I hear that some people will say is that no, we don't think that David's ready for Canelo. That's about it. But I mean, everything's actually good. It's pretty good. And now David's been getting a lot of respect because we want to give the people the fights, ready or not. We want to test ourselves and give you guys a good fight, no matter what happens.
Yeah, so Canelo fans is not against that fight either, huh?
No. The thing is, like what I try to tell people, what I notice, man, we come from nothing, man. And what I notice is, no matter what nationality you are from, people will love you if you come and deliver and and leave your heart inside the ring. Now, if you don't do that, they're not going to respect you. Manny Pacquiao is from the Philippines. Mexican people love him. Triple G is not Mexican. Mexicans go crazy for him. I think Mexican people like Triple G more than they like Canelo. So that's my point and what I think. When you come and fight and give it all, and you're not ducking any fighters, and you fight whoever or whoever. I mean, the ranked guys from 1 to 3, that they'll give you that respect, and that's how you get the respect. And that's why they don't like Canelo, because he doesn't want to fight the people that are going to give him trouble.
Right. Yes, sir. And just this is the last question. I did watch Rayal. I think that's your fighter.
Yeah, Jose Valenzuela, Rayo Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He looked real good, and he's a lightweight. So I do want to ask you, based on obviously the Fabulous Four at lightweight is Tank, Ryan, Devin, and Tio. Uh, who would you say in a tournament will come out on top?
First of all, I think Rayo still needs to improve a little bit more and show the fans a little bit more. He has to prove himself a little bit more. But one thing I'll tell you, he sparred Teofimo sparring with big gloves, headgear, and he stopped him in one round. They left and he was making excuses. The father called me like 3 weeks later saying that he wanted to spar him again. And guess what? He stopped him again in 3 rounds. And the father wanted to kick my ass. So I don't understand why, but then after he apologized, um, but, like everybody says, sparring is something different, But if he could do that with big gloves and a headgear, I mean, I think he must have some power.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you guys cool with Tio and the family, or is there static still
No, no,
from the
I
sparring?
mean, no, for some reason, the dad, it's a little bit, he doesn't like nobody, because he believes that he has somebody out of this world, I think he created something that he looks down on everybody, uh, and that's my feeling with him. And the like I said, he wanted to beat me up when he called me and he wanted to spar. After that, I lose respect for him, I don't even want to be near him. I don't want to do nothing to do with him, uh, because like I said, he's the one that wanted the sparring. He's the one that called me, and then he wanted to disrespect me. And I mean, I don't
So
care for that.
he wanted to spar you, like
Well,
Senior
yeah,
wanted to spar you.
he was so mad. He was so mad because his son got stopped in 3 rounds in one round. But I was just there to help him. I didn't sparring is sparring, bro. I'm not gonna let my fighter get hit or something. He couldn't take it. And then he was so mad with his son that he got mad with me. And that happens a lot in boxing and sparring. But like I said, I respect everybody. I don't disrespect nobody. But I don't mess with nobody. But once you start talking stuff about me or whatever, I try to defend myself. And when you want to fight me, I just try to defend myself too. But I'm not picking fights, and I'm not trying to cause trouble, with nobody. I mean, I don't do that.
Yeah, so the sparring was not competitive. It was just one sided, pretty much a one sided beatdown. Uh,
Man, and that's why he lost his temper, but it was not my fault, like I say, he's the one that wanted this barn. I mean I if he couldn't coordinate or whatever, I mean, with his fighter, I mean, why not my fault,
yeah, yeah. Now, have they ever responded publicly? Because I haven't heard Tio or his father say anything in response to him getting stopped at sparring.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
only thing they do is him sparring Tank. I think they do it. They did have that sparring Tank, you know. Um, but no, they don't want to say nothing about that, But I mean, I wouldn't lie, that why would I even say that, That's not. I mean, why would I even come up with that, I mean, but that's what happened. Miguel Diaz, the cutman from Top Rank, was there. A lot of people were there, you know, that also saw that. So, I mean, that's what happened, and but we train hard. Like I tell you, we're not afraid of nobody, We train to win, and no matter what, if we lose or win, we're just there to give all their heart in there and try as much as we can.
well, it says a lot about Real potential in boxing. Now, Teofimo, he is the unified champion at lightweight, and he's on top right now. So, if there is a tournament between the Fabulous Four, Tank, Ryan, Devin, Tio, who would you favor to be on top and come out on top?
I think if you include my fighter in there, he will come in top. Like I say, he trains very hard. He's not known as these guys because of social media or whatever, that would be a great tournament. It would be a tough fight also for us. Uh, but I would have Rayo beating all these guys.
Right, right. And is there a fight date for Rio that is coming soon? Is there
Yeah, we're
anything
thinking
lined
about
up?
May, somewhere around May. So we're taking our time. We're not making a lot of noise. So we could fight. We fought the last time we fought. I forgot the name of the guy, but this guy had fought everybody, never been stopped. Rayo stopped him in the fourth round with a body shot. And he's getting there little by little. Sometimes I think that's the best way because sometimes when the media is there and all the especially right now with social media, man, these fighters, their head gets too big, and then they think they haven't fought anybody yet, and they think they're the best fighters in the whole world and in the division, and to me they're still new, they're still getting up there, they haven't really proved a lot. So sometimes they get caught up in the social media and all that. But all these fighters, David Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia, these are really good fighters that are coming up, but I don't even think they will face each other right now. I don't, there's no way they're gonna fight.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if they do, though, in a dream
And
world, and in the finals, who gonna be in there against Royale? Who gonna be, on the other side of the corner?
I will pick a tougher fighter for Rayo would be. You know what? I like, man. Even though a lot of people don't I like Ryan Garcia, man. I like him a lot. I think he has a lot of heart. He proved that he has. I mean, he came up, when he got dropped. Um, I would have to put Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia kind of like, oh man, those two fights will be very difficult. But the easy fight will be Teofimo Lopez, and people are going to start talking a lot of shit because he has all these belts, but he doesn't want to fight David Haney or Ryan Garcia. So I mean, they're I mean, with the level of skills and all that, they're very hungry fighters and they're good fighters. Uh, but the good thing about Teofimo Lopez that he had the opportunity to fight Lomachenko, and he did beat him. Um, but I think Lomachenko was injured, and Lomachenko just waited too much, but at the end, like from the 7, 8 round, man, he just started throwing punches, and he did make Teofimo look bad. If he would have started a little bit early, he would have really actually beat him. But he started late, or because of the shoulder, or whatever the problem is. And I could see that there was a problem. And I think Teofimo, to me, he got just lucky, that he was injured and he waited to throw. And I mean, he got all the belts, and my respect for him. But I think Lomachenko is a better fighter.
Yes, sir, man. Well, great talking with you, Jose Benavidez. You always keep it real, speaking the whole truth from the heart. We appreciate you giving me the time out of your day. Now, what's the last message you have for everybody that's listening, Charlo, Canelo, and all the fans in general?
I just want to tell Canelo, if David's so easy and Charlo, why not make the fight? I think that will be a pay-per-view fight because that's what they're looking for, money. They're looking for money. We're not looking for money. We're looking to give the fans a good fight and make history. That's more important for us. The Charlo, the Caleb Plans, the Canelos, let's make this fight happen. Secondly, I want to thank all the fans of Charlo, because now we have a lot of fans actually. We have a lot of comments and a lot of people send us messages from Charlo, that they were Charlo's fans, and now they got our respect, and I really appreciate that. And we're gonna continue to press these people to fight. It doesn't matter if we win or lose, man. We just want to give people good fights, the fights that they deserve, and all the Mexicans too. We want to thank everybody here that from the United States, all the races, man, black, white, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans, and everybody around the world, man. We want to thank them for their support.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Jose Benavidez. I can't wait to speak to you again when there's more developing news. So we'll be in touch.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you. Richard, my man said, Aki, you're doing a great job, bro. Keep it up, brother. Thank you, my brother. And yes, sir. So there you have it. I watched Charlo interview with Brian Custer. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. he had me all hyped because if you guys watch all my videos, you guys would know that I believed in the hype. You know, I truly thought he was going to fight David Benavidez next because Brian Custer asked him specifically, "Are you going to fight David Benavidez in September?" He said, "Yes, let's make it happen." But as the interview went on, Charlo, he will double. I don't understand him. He will double talk. Charlo will get you hype, then he will bring you down. He will hype you up, then bring you down. Like he will always double talk. He would make it seem like he gonna fight David Benavidez next, but a few moments later, he making it seem like he's not. Like he's, you know, because he kept bringing up this weight. He kept bringing up that he not a 168 pounder, and he made a big concern over moving up 8 pounds. He said, why well, people call him a duck because he's a 160 pounder and he a champion at 160. Why should he move up to 168 and fight someone that doesn't have a belt? Now, he could have said that if he never called out David Benavidez. If Charlo never called out David Benavidez and Benavidez was calling him out, yeah, you could pull that off. But it was Charlo who called out David Benavidez, like Jose Sr. just pointed out. So you can't backpedal and start claiming that, hey, I changed my mind. Nah, well, once you say you're going to snap someone's neck, it's hard to take that back. So especially after what Charlo said about all the vaccination talk, now he said that he was just joking. Well, the way to show us you was joking, Charlo has to be inside of that lion's den come September. My man said, Canelo #1, yes, but he won't no smoke, no risks. Yeah, he the #1 cherry picker in the world. He's Europe pound for pound #1, but you can't really say he #1 in the world if he don't want to fight the best and want zero smoke and take zero risk. You can't be #1 if you moving like that. That's like you wanting to win the World Cup without participating in the World Cup and playing against all the best players all around the world and the best teams. That's not how you're going to win the World Cup. You can't win the Super Bowl without playing against the best teams to win the Super Bowl. You can't go to the NBA and win a ring or 2 or 3 and win the championship not playing against the best teams. You can't select the weakest teams in the league and then say, I'm the best in the world. That's not how it works. In order to be the best, you have to fight the best. They go hand to hand. But I'm going to pick up calls real quick. Let me go ahead. I'll be right back. Like I said, give me 5 minutes. I just want to pick up the calls, but I could function faster when I have my screen saved. So I'll be right back in couple minutes. I won't, it'll be less than 5 minutes. Make sure you guys call in. The number is in the description box. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. It don't cost you a penny. It costs you an effort. So go ahead and support. The best way to support is to like, share all my videos, and you know that's the best way to stay in touch. Also call in. Like I said before, we have a lot of people in the house, and the likes is not matching the views. So it seems like we have a lot of haters in the house, and the decafs, they out here seeking the truth because they will come to find the truth from AKHi TV. So welcome, join us. Glad all of my AKHis is tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support. And just to answer my brother question right here, he said, Richard said, you think Charlo's scared to fight? Well, I think he miscalculated. I think he didn't want to fight David Benavidez right now. After watching the interview, I really think he's concerned about the weight. He kept bringing up the weight every freaking 2 minutes. He kept talking about the weight. So what I got from it is that he wants to move up to 168 at his own pace. He wanted to, like, I guess, move up in weight after 3 fights and let his body grow to 168 because he said that's a big jump and I rely on my power. So I guess he doesn't just want to. Well, let me take it back. He said himself, he said that 160, he's just now filling in to 160. However, he the one that called out David Benavidez last year. A year later, you should be ready to fight David Benavidez because it was Charlo who called him out. So I don't think he's scared. I just think he spoke too soon. If you ain't ready to fight somebody, why you speaking? Why are you talking? If you gonna talk the talk, you have to be willing to walk the walk. And Charlo is not 23 years old. He's not 22 years old. He's 30 years old. So it's time for him to make a move like that. If you want to fight Canelo, you know Canelo is going to be at 168. And you know Canelo is not going to fight you if you don't fight David Benavidez. Because now Canelo is going to feel like, well, there's a lot of pressure off my back. Since David Benavidez, he got Charlo off my back. However, if Charlo fight David Benavidez, the winner will put himself in a great position, almost guaranteeing the Canelo fight for himself because the pressure will be too overwhelming for Canelo to go anywhere else. So when you say, do I think he's scared? I just know he don't want the fight right now. I know that for a fact because, well, I'm not going to say a fact until September comes, but he don't sound like he want it right now. He keeps saying everything, but let's fight right now. He keeps saying, I need 2 or 3 more fights at 160. He also mentioned that I think his trainer mentioned that he want to stay at 160 for a whole nother year. So we'll see, though. I think that'd be a great fight. This the type of fight that's gonna save the year, you know. I'll pick up the calls right now. Hold on, let me remove that. Yeah, well, Triple G, he turned down the fight. He already turned down a 2-fight deal. But if right now the topic of conversation is not really Gennady Golovkin, the topic of conversation is David Benavidez. So come September, if Charlo doesn't fight David Benavidez, so it's officially a duck. There's no doubt about it. Because September is the date that they both agreed to, and it was Charlo who called out David Benavidez. So when he says, I don't get this, why people are saying I'm ducking, is because you called him out. That's why. How you doing, Aki? Who this is, or where are you calling from?
Peace, this is D calling from Pennsylvania.
Hello, say it again, my brother. Hello?
I said, peace, this is D. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir. What's going on? So how you feel about this whole, David Benavidez and Charlo situation? Have you seen Charlo last interview and what you make of it?
Okay, I thought I wanted to talk about Canelo, but I'll talk about Charlo.
No. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Now let's dive into what you want to talk about.
Okay, first I want to say this. I don't think that none of those professional fighters are really scared to fight each other. You know, there are different reasons why they won't fight each other that we can all speculate upon. Now, I want to go back to 2019. Anthony Durrell fighting Avini Yildirim. Blood war. Some people think that Yildirim actually won that fight. So Yildirim goes ahead, files a complaint with the WBC. The WBC makes him the new mandatory. This is 2019. Makes Avini Yildirim the new mandatory for the WBC belt.
Yeah, but Anthony Durrell, he won that fight. You know, Anthony Durrell, he won that fight. It was
he won. No, he won. Yeah, it went to. He had a cut on his eye, and they stopped the fight.
Yeah, but
so let me go back to what I was saying.
Yeah, so Anthony Durrell won the fight, though, just to make it clear.
Yeah, I know Anthony Durrell won the fight.
Right. So yeah. So your point.
So going back to what I said. So my point is this: at that point in time, after Anthony Durrell won that fight, that controversial fight because of the cut over his eye, Avini Yildirim filed an appeal to the WBC, and they made him in 2019 the WBC mandatory, the new WBC mandatory. He was supposed to be fighting for the WBC belt, but guess who fought? David Benavidez and Andre Durrell. So he still didn't get the fight for the WBC mandatory, right? So let's fast forward. Canelo Alvarez. I don't know if you were aware, but Caleb Smith turned down a fight with Canelo Alvarez because it was on too short a notice for him, allegedly.
Caleb Smith fought him. Caleb Smith fought him.
No, I'm sorry. Caleb Plant. I apologize. Thank you. Caleb Plant, right? So Caleb Plant wanted to go ahead and knock out his two mandatories, and then he said he'll be ready for Canelo because he wants to be at his best. So Canelo Alvarez fought the number one guy in the division in Caleb Smith. And in order for him to fight the number one guy in Caleb Smith, you know what he had to do? All you got to do is Google it. They actually paid Avini Yildirim's team step-aside money so that they could fight the number one guy, Caleb Smith, in that division. And they came to agreement that after he... Hold on, let me finish this last two sentences.
Right.
They came to agreement that after he fought Caleb Smith, the winner of the Caleb Smith and Canelo Alvarez fight had 90 days to fulfill the mandatory challenge to fight Yildirim. And so after Canelo beat that fight, yes, he called the WBC and said, I want and requested to fight Anthony Yildirim. Yildirim next because he had 90 days to fulfill his mandatory or he was going to get stripped. And he wanted to unify in the division.
Yeah, well, this information, I already know everything. So everything you informing me, I know it like the back of my hand. So just to correct a couple things you did mention, Canelo requested to fight Avini back in 2020, back when he was still signed with DAZN and had a $365 million contract. So that wasn't during that 3 months period. Nevertheless, Caleb Smith was not the number one at 168. That's what DAZN said, but doesn't mean that was a fact because Caleb Smith, who do you think Caleb Smith was number one? Let me just ask you that first.
I'll say this.
Yeah, just yes or no. Just yes or no. Do you believe he was number one?
You can't allow me to answer a question. I believe he was the most accomplished person in the division. I don't know whether he's number one or number two. I believe he's better than David Benavidez.
So who did he beat?
I don't know about Caleb Plant.
Who did Caleb Smith beat for you to say he the most accomplished?
He won the. I don't remember everybody in the Super 6 in the tournament he was in. I forgot because the reason why I forgot all the people who was in that tournament because I was too concerned with like 160 at the time. Yeah, so I don't exactly remember everybody.
So you don't know nobody he beat.
No.
Exactly.
Not off top.
So you don't.
Not off top. I would have to go to my notes. Not off top.
Yeah, you gotta Google and go to BoxRec. Yeah, I understand. So you don't know anybody he beat, but you want to say he has the more credentials. How you know he has the most credentials and you don't know anybody he fought? That means he ain't fought nobody because you would know the guys he fought.
Okay, so let me answer. The reason why I don't know the guys he fought because I wasn't all into 168 at the time.
It's okay. I understand. I understand your reasoning, but the facts remain that you don't know.
I'm answering your question.
You don't have to because I don't know them either. Is what I'm telling you because he didn't fight nobody. It's not because you didn't. He just didn't fight nobody. But let me make it clear. Let me just make it clear real quick. You did just ask me a question. You asked me how was he the number one? He didn't fight nobody. Okay, you didn't name anybody, and you didn't name anybody.
You never allowed me to finish my point.
You said you don't know anybody.
No, yes, but I have a point though.
Go ahead, make up your excuse. Go ahead.
No, there's no excuse. I don't got a horse in the race.
Okay,
what I'm saying is that
you don't know anybody he fought, but you were trying to make up some names. So go ahead.
You asked me. I have a position why I feel that he is the most accomplished person in a division.
How?
And my whole
if you don't know anybody he fought.
I'm trying to answer your question.
I'm waiting.
And so the answer is because he won that Super 6 tournament. And the reason why I said because the best person on David Benavidez's record is Anthony Durrell. That's the best person on David Benavidez's record.
We're not talking about David Benavidez right now. Hold on. We're not talking about David Benavidez right now. We're talking about the guy you brought up, Smith. You don't even know Anthony Durrell on his resume. That's the problem. You can't even name me an Anthony Durrell on Canelo resume, right? But you want to talk about David Benavidez. Hold on. But let me put things in perspective.
No, the reason why I can do that. The reason why I could do that is because they have a common denominator.
I don't want to.
Canelo Alvarez.
I don't want to jump off topics. I don't want to jump off topics. Okay. So let's stick with that. Okay. First of all, let me inform you, since you don't know, that Caleb Smith was he lost to Ryder, and he pretty much robbed him. You could go back and check the backlash and watch the fight. Ryder was hitting him with 5 punches combination. This is the fight that Canelo fought Caleb Smith before he lost to Ryder, right?
I remember that fight. I remember that fight.
How can you be number one in the division?
I remember that fight now.
Yeah, how can you be number one when you coming off a loss, really? But pause. Let me talk, my brother. But let me talk, my brother. I'll let you talk. So let me talk. So that's obviously a fact, right? He coming off a bad performance. Canelo gives him 4-week notice, in which David Benavidez points it out, and he's like, hold on. How you gonna give someone a champion 4-week notice? Like you don't do that. You know, just because your negotiations with Caleb Plant fell through, you shouldn't give Caleb Smith 4-week notice. Nevertheless, moving on from that point, because you said that you're trying to justify why he fought Avini Yildirim. You're trying to justify why he fought Avini Yildirim because you said he's a mandatory.
I'm not trying to justify.
You said he's a mandatory.
Listen, I'm not trying to justify.
You gave me the history. So why you gave me the history? Why you gave me the history?
I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm establishing something that happened. People want to know, why did he fight Avini Yildirim? He didn't belong in the ring with a caliber opponent of Canelo Alvarez. And apparently he didn't. He belonged in a with Anthony Durrell.
So why he fought him?
Why he fought who?
Why he fought Avini Yildirim?
I told you, because back in 2019, he was the WBC mandatory. The only reason why he didn't fight Avini Yildirim.
Thank you. That's all I want to say. Thank you. That's all I want to say. Okay, I got you.
They paid Yildirim step aside money.
Thank you.
They paid. He could have fought him. He could have fought him before he fought Caleb Smith.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to get from you. So let me move on to the next point. So why didn't Canelo fight Jermall Charlo when he was his mandatory? Just like Avini Yildirim.
Because Canelo Alvarez is trying to be, in my opinion, the most accomplished Mexican boxer. And so at one point in time when he's at 160, he actually, I don't know if you remember this, he actually said he wanted to unify. He beat Triple G twice. Hold on. You giving me no. I'm asking you a simple question. You giving me a history. You said because he want to build his legacy.
Well, building his legacy is fighting Avini is not building his legacy. Fighting Charlo is building his legacy. I'm asking you, why didn't he fight Charlo when he was his mandatory, but he fought Avini Yildirim?
I'm trying to tell you, but you keep trying to shake the way I answer your question. So my answer is simple. He didn't fight Charlo because he had to get Golden Boy had him lose his belt because of their mismanagement. At that point in time, when he's at 160, he wanted to unify, but he decided to take another route and go up, and he fought the one guy, the long, tall guy.
Hold on. Rocky Fielding. But before that, Rocky Fielding. So you rather watch Rocky Fielding than watch Charlo?
No, I'm not telling you that I would love to see Charlo.
Okay, so you admit he ducked him. So you admit he ducked him.
I said this when we first on this phone call, that just because someone doesn't fight another fighter doesn't mean that they're scared of them. So yes, ducking happens all the time. But when you use the phrase duck, is it duck because I'm scared of you? Is it duck because I think you're going to lose to me?
So why he ducking him? So if he feel like he could beat him, why he ducking him? He fought Avini Yildirim when he was his mandatory. So why he ducked Charlo when he was his mandatory? Because you said he moved up to fight Rocky Fielding. Nobody cared about Rocky Fielding. And Rocky Fielding was not a legacy fight. But hold on, let me make it clear. Rocky Fielding was not a legacy fight. So why he fought Rocky Fielding instead of fighting his mandatory Charlo?
Okay, first of all, he didn't fight Charlo because they already offered Charlo a fight.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Because hold on, because you ain't about to put out no false information. You're trying to put out some false information to get out of the corner you in. First of all, okay, if Canelo sent Charlo an offer, how come Canelo gave up his belt?
Hold up. You asked me one question, and as soon as I start trying to answer your question, you try to jump in and control it.
I'm not controlling the narrative. I'm not controlling the narrative. Charlo came out. Charlo came out. Hold on. Let's put facts in order, because I ain't going to talk about rumors and shit. We're going to talk about facts. Charlo came out and said that he never received an offer from Canelo Alvarez. He said that was a lie, and he never received an offer. And let me finish. So if he did receive an offer, why did Canelo give up the belt? Because if Charlo turned down the offer, Canelo gets to keep the belt, right?
Let me answer a question. So your fans who are listening, let them be the judge. Quit trying to manipulate the conversation.
Okay, well,
go ahead. Give me the opportunity to answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Canelo Alvarez's team, allegedly, I have to say allegedly because I don't have a horse in this race, according to an interview with De La Hoya, said that they offered Jermall Charlo a fight. And not Jermall Charlo turned it down, but his team turned it down. Now do I know whether or not Jermall Charlo's team turned it down or not? Absolutely not. I do know his brother Jermall Charlo said that he turned down the fight.
Well, that's he said, she said, she. Well,
that's he said, she.
Hold on. Hey, I'm giving you all the time you need. Look, I don't got that much time, and I got a lot of topics to talk about and other people to pick up. So because you want to talk all day. So you said that we're going to go based off what you said. You know what I'm saying? Even though I already informed you that Charlo came out and said they never sent me an offer. That was a lie. You would if that's true. If that's true, hold on. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Because Charlo said if that was true, Canelo will bring that up. How come you see Canelo never bring that up? Now I'm gonna go based off what you said. Let's say it's true.
So Jermall Charlo's lying too.
No,
Jermall Charlo's lying too. When Jermall Charlo said you turned down the fight with Canelo, I'm gonna
go based off what you said. If Canelo did send him an offer, why did Canelo give up his belt?
Now check this out. If you notice when I'm talking, I said according to or speculation.
Okay, I'm going by your speculations. I'm going by your speculations. So why didn't Canelo keep the belt? Why didn't Canelo keep the belt if Charlo turned down an offer?
Why didn't Canelo keep the belt? Charlo turned down an offer. I don't understand what you mean.
If Charlo received an offer and he turned down the offer, according to you, why did Canelo give up his belt?
Because Canelo was going up to 168 to capture another title, another division, because he wants to be a multi-division champion.
That was not the case. That was not the case. That That's not why he gave up. That's not. He didn't move up. He gave up the belt before he moved up in weight, though.
No, he vacated.
He gave up the belt. He gave up the belt. He gave up the belt. He gave up the belt before he moved up in weight.
When Jermall Charlo was his mandatory, he vacated. That's what happened.
Why he vacated? If Charlo turned down an offer, he didn't have to vacate. He could have kept the belt.
Because if you go back to
you stuttering on me.
You asked me.
Go ahead, answer the question. Don't beat around the bush. Don't beat around the bush. I don't got time.
Anybody who listens to this, just type on YouTube. Charlo turns down the fight. Charlo's team turns down the fight with De La Hoya, and you will see De La Hoya telling people that Jermall Charlo passed the fight.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, I already talked about that. You beating around the bush. If Charlo turned down Canelo offer for his title, then why did Canelo give up his belt? He didn't have to give up his belt. He would have kept his belt because Charlo turned down the offer. So why did Canelo give up his belt? Don't tap out on me. Don't tap out on me.
There's no tapping out.
Okay,
the reason why
Canelo.
Just let me. The reason why Canelo vacated the belt was because he already told Golden Bill already told Jermall Charlo's team, we're past that time. He had his opportunity. We're moving on into other things, and they went to go get the belt. So at that point in time, getting another belt in the next weight division was more important.
You still didn't explain why he gave up his belt. He didn't have to give up his belt because he stayed in the division. He had to give up the IBF belt as well. So he gave up the WBC belt first. So why did he give up the belt if he hadn't moved up in weight?
I told you why he gave his belt up. He gave up the belt to go. I told you. I told you.
He didn't have to give it up. Is what I'm telling
you. I know
he
didn't have to. I told you why he did that. He did that. He did that because the pattern shows why he did that. He did that to capture a belt in that division, and then he went to 175 and captured a belt in that division.
You could keep all of them. You could keep all of them. You could keep all of them. You don't have to give up a belt. You don't have to. You still haven't explained. You haven't explained why Canelo gave up his belt. He could move up to 168 and fight Rocky Fielding. He could move up to 175 and fight Kovalev. He don't have to give up his belt at 160. Floyd Mayweather kept his belt at 147 and he moved up to 154 and fought. Canelo kept his belt there, moved down in weight and fought at 147. Still kept the belts at 154 for like years. Floyd Mayweather was a champion in 2 different weight divisions, had belts in 2 different weight divisions for years. So that don't explain why Canelo gave up his belt at 160. If he did give Charlo an offer and Charlo declined, then he don't have to give up his belt. So why did he give up the belt? I'm going to let you answer it for the last time and make sense this time because I got a lot of people on the horn.
I told you why he gave up his belt because he was going up.
You don't have to give up the belt. You don't have to give up the belt if you move up in weight. I just explained that to you. So come up with another excuse.
You can go on to you can
come up with another excuse.
There's no excuse. All you have to do is listen. You don't have to.
You're wasting my time, Decaf. You hitting that pound for pound.
Well, all your fans gotta do is,
You hitting that pound for pound. You becoming a pound for pound Decaf on the show, my man. So I'm telling you.
Why? Because
you're not answering the question. I'm giving you time.
Listen.
Okay. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
So again, okay. Canelo, again, this is just my opinion, my position.
Give me facts. I don't care. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. I asked you a simple question. Give me the facts. You said Canelo sent him an offer. I already told you that's not true, but you want to keep going with that with them lies. So we're gonna go based off what you said. If Canelo gave Charlo an offer and Charlo turned it down, then why did Canelo give up his belt and requested a franchise belt to save face? Why? He could have kept his belt. He didn't have to give up his belt.
So are you truly looking for my perspective, or you just want to keep
give me
cut
the
me
facts.
off engaged?
Give me the facts. Go ahead. Give me the facts. You got 2 minutes.
No, you don't. Whether what I'm saying is so-called fact or not, let me finish my point. Let the audience, let the people judge. So again, Canelo Alvarez moved up to 168 because he was trying to, in my opinion, he is trying to add more to his historical legacy in terms of compliments. So he won the belt at 160, at 168. I think he felt that he could beat Rocky Fielding, so they went for it. Then he won the belt at 175 those fights with those younger fighters, those Jermall Charlos and stuff that are unaccomplished, they'll be there. He's gonna get to them.
So
and
Rocky,
after he gets to them, then what
you
you
still
gonna say?
didn't answer the question. You still didn't answer the question because he didn't have to give up the belt at 160. So you tapped out because that answer you gave me right now.
No, he wasn't campaigning.
Is
he campaigning at 160 now?
He don't have to give up the belt.
Is he campaigning at 160 now?
He don't have to.
No, he's not campaigning at 160 yet.
He don't have
never
to
planned on going back to 160.
Wasn't Floyd Mayweather
He never planned on going back to 160.
Wasn't Floyd Mayweather a champion at 147 and 154 for years?
Yes,
at the same time? Exactly. You don't have to give up the belt just because you campaigning in another division. Matter
so let me
fact,
ask you a question. What's your point?
Right
what's your point in saying? I want to understand.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me just finish this.
Are you saying you think he's scared? Are you saying you believe Canelo Alvarez is scared of Jermall Charlo?
Let me just finish this. Tank moved up from 130 to 135, and he's still holding both belts. That's first of all. Second of all, Canelo fighting Rocky Fielding is not a legacy fight, so that don't excuse it. That don't excuse Canelo ducking a bigger fight with Charlo when Charlo was his mandatory. And when you
how
said
Charlo a bigger fight, he didn't beat nobody. How's he a bigger fight?
Who did Rocky Fielding beat? Who did Rocky Fielding beat?
Hold on 1 second.
Who did Rocky Fielding beat?
I know that Rocky Fielding.
Who did he beat?
Listen, I know
no. You said
listen.
Charlo ain't a legacy fight. He ain't fought nobody. Who did Rocky Fielding beat?
Rocky Fielding beat nobody, so I'm concerned.
Okay, so he ducked. Canelo ducked Charlo to fight Rocky Fielding. That you said they ain't fought nobody. But why does Charlo? Why does Charlo have to fight somebody? You all over the place.
Titles and multiple. No, I'm not. It's about his goal was to get titles and multiple.
Rocky
divisions.
Fielding got knocked out in the first round. Do you know Rocky Fielding got knocked out in the first round by Caleb Smith? That wasn't no freaking legacy fight. That's just another cherry pick, just like the Ivini fight. A guy coming off a loss, a 2-year layoff. He ain't fought nobody. But when it's Charlo, who did he fight? You see, you all over the place. And your explanation of him moving up in weight don't explain why he gave up his belt if he truly sent Charlo an offer. Because he didn't have to give up his belt if he sent Charlo an offer. When Errol Spence had a mandatory and his mandatory turned the fight down with him, Errol Spence ended up fighting Ocampo. Remember that? He didn't give up his belt because his mandatory didn't. He turned down an offer. No, Errol Spence fought Ocampo instead, and he kept the belt. So if Canelo sent Charlo an offer and Charlo turned it down, just like Errol Spence, then Canelo will get to keep his belt. This is what the facts say. You keep saying my opinion this, my opinion that. That's he say, she say, he say, she. At the end of the day, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Some opinions are bigger than most. But facts will always remain the same, and facts trump opinion. So great talking with you, my brother. This is another knockout on split decision. So anything else you have to say before I let you go? Oh, my brother tapped out on me. I told you this is a pound for pound decaf. I give you all this time, and you can't come out with a logical explanation why Canelo gave up his belt if he sent Charlo an offer, but you're going to hang up. You're going to come out with some BS reason that he moved up in weight and fought Rocky Fielding. I just wanted to entertain a decaf and see where it was going to get me, but it got me nowhere. All I ended up with was another W, and this decaf done received a capital L on split decision. So welcome to the pound for pound list, decaf. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Mike from Ohio.
Yes, sir. What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah, man. I don't know what kind of catch I'll be having on here, man. These dudes is easy work, man.
Man, you heard that? He dragged me everywhere, man. I'm like, man, he go there. I'm entertaining. It's crazy, right? Like Canelo just came out. Charlo, he came out and made it clear. He was like, listen, at the end of the day, Canelo never sent me an offer. That's a lie. It was a cap. What did you think? Right. The man will say on interviews, I already sent him an offer when they asked him about Charlo, but he don't. He just says, oh, it's going to happen and walks away, if that, right? But, and again, Charlo, all he had to say then, all Charlo has to say when they ask him about the offer is, well, how come I got his belt? If I turn down an offer, how come I got his strap as we speak? This man is the pioneer of the franchise organization, a witness protection franchise organization. And they trying to justify this duck when this man started a duck organization, man. This man started a duck witness organization, an organizations for all the ducks that want to avoid the best fighters. And they want to justify this type of duck, right? So, I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. Like I said, you know, the man dragging me everywhere. I didn't know where he wanted to go with this. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, the whole time you over here making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's obvious what it is. You already know that he's ducking.
Yeah,
he got to be ducking.
And I entertained it.
He didn't have to leave the boat. He didn't have to leave the belt.
Right.
He didn't have to leave. He could have kept the belt. You know what I'm saying? He left because he didn't want to deal with him.
And that's why I entertained his lie when he said that Canelo sent an offer and he trying to give me all this opinionated talk points. I told him, okay, I'm gonna go by your logic, but logically explain to me why Charlo got his belt then. If Charlo turned down an offer, he shouldn't have Canelo belt. Canelo will have the belt. You know what I'm saying? It don't logically make sense for Canelo to send Charlo an offer, but Charlo turned down the offer and gets to get Canelo belt and keep his belt. It don't work that way. You can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I heard the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? I heard that he got a sent offer, and that was going. I mean, that's like going around for real. That's like everybody thinks that he really sent the offer to Charlo and Charlo turned it down. I thought that for a long time. You know what I mean? Now, did I believe it? Nah, I didn't really believe that because I already know how much Charlo didn't want to get at Canelo. You know what I mean? So and the logic that dude was saying, talking about, you know, Charlo wants to his path and talking about what he want to do. Yeah, it's obvious like he want to go to the division and he want to be the biggest Mexican fighter, the biggest fighter of all time. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wants. You know what I mean? But look how he's going about it. Nobody's gonna respect it.
Yeah, and let me say this. Charlo did say when he won the belt, the WBC belt at the time, if you go back and watch the interviews, he said, I don't want this belt no more. He said, I want the franchise belt. And the WBC told Charlo, no, you can't get the franchise because you can't win it. Remember that? Remember when they were telling Charlo you can't win the franchise belt because you can't win it nor lose it? And people were like, what the hell? What kind of belt is that? How the hell there's a belt that you can't win or lose it? And then the WBC president said that it's not a championship nor a belt, is a designation, is like a trophy for like, you know, who's supposedly the face of boxing. That's the excuse he came out with. So again, Charlo wanted the franchise belt because he wanted to fight Canelo so bad and Canelo kept running away from him. And I never believed it, even when I heard it, because like I said, it makes no sense for Canelo to send Charlo an offer, and Charlo turns it down, but Canelo ends up, you know, getting stripped of his belt. He would have kept his belt if that was the case. But I do want to get your take on Oscar De La Hoya. He said that Terrence Crawford is pound for pound #1. He said on top, you know, that Terrence Crawford is pound for pound #1 over Canelo Alvarez.
Yep.
And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you know, I got a bone to pick, you know, with you about Crawford, you know, but I'll get that. I mean, I'll get to that after I answer the question about
no, hold on. Tell me the truth about Crawford. No. Let's talk about the truth about Crawford, man.
All right. Now, I mean, I feel, man. I mean, Crawford, man. I mean, I gotta get on you because about Crawford, man. Because you know, Crawford been doing. You know, he ain't been moving the right way, man. And you know what I'm saying, as far as in who he want to fight and who he don't want to fight, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't been getting on Crawford, man. You've been getting on everybody else though. You know what I mean? Like, and rightfully so. Like Ryan Duckin, you know what I'm saying, Devin Haney. And everybody, you know, people in the lower weight classes is ducking Shakur, Loma ducking Shakur, you know what I'm saying? T.O. ducking. All these people ducking.
I always ducking too. Yeah, I always try to keep the same energy with everybody. I'm always consistent with the whole absolute truth.
Right.
That's the agenda every single time. So why do you think Terrence should be criticized, and what should he be criticized for? Who do you want to fight him to fight next?
I mean, I would love to see him fight Errol, but you already know what Errol is. He got a little path of what he's trying to do. He's trying to collect his new straps.
Yeah, we got to wait on that fight. He already, you know, he been calling that Errol from the jump, but that's a fight that's gonna happen once he leaves Top Rank. So we're gonna stick with the reality, because we can't force something to happen that's not gonna happen, right? So you know, obviously that's the fight that the whole world want to see, but we're gonna have to pause on that. So who's the next one that you feel like Crawford should be criticized for if he doesn't fight him?
I think Porter. I think that Porter fight, to me, is the fight that he should take.
Now you do know.
I think that's the only fight really that he should take.
And you do know, Crawford said that if it ain't Pacquiao, it will be Porter. But obviously, Sean Porter is Crawford mandatory. Now we know one thing about being a mandatory. No one has to give you a shot. You could petition to force the fight. Just like with the situation we talked about, Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. Charlo petitioned to fight Canelo, and Canelo had to give up the belt, right? Because Canelo didn't want to fight him. So if Terrence Crawford doesn't want to fight Sean, all Sean have to do is petition, and he will make Crawford lose his belt, right? So why haven't Sean petitioned?
No, that's the golden question. That's the question that came up in my mind eventually after the time done passed over, and he hasn't pushed it, or we haven't heard that he pushed. Now, my beef was with Crawford when he first started saying that he wanted to fight and he wanted to make the fight. But as time go on, we still haven't heard the fight being made. So now the pressure and the it's starting to push back on Porter, because Porter started making Crawford look like that he really don't want to fight. Now, honestly, I don't think Crawford wants to fight. Now, Crawford really didn't even want to fight with Kell Brooks. They were actually waiting for Crawford to sign a contract. That was the last, bit of due diligence that he needed to do for that Kell Brooks to go through. And so they was waiting for him to sign a contract. Even Bob was getting frustrated with Crawford to fight Kell Brooks at the time.
Well, why you say he had to sign the contract? You mean to extend his contract?
Well, because remember he sent out an offer. He sent out the first offer, and Kell Brooks wasn't on it.
Yeah, but that's
another offer.
Yeah, but that's not Crawford's fault. Negotiations is not Crawford's fault. That's up to his team and Bob Arum to make it happen. Because Bob, whatever you think about Bob, at the end of the day, he cheat when it comes to making offers. He don't offer what he's supposed to. I mean, that's what people say, and that's the offers we look at when we see offers. He don't be offering the type of money you would think, like not the DAZN type of money or PBC. So that's not Crawford's fault. But I mean, I don't have that much time, and I do want to get to the point. So you're saying that you told me I should criticize Crawford. So you're saying that you think he ducking Sean, right? You're saying that he ducking Sean. But you do know Bob he gave Sean an offer. He told him, I got $1 million for you. He turned it down, right? He said that's a disrespect.
You think that's a formative offer?
That's a disrespectful offer, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what you supposed to do when the promoter ain't trying to pay you what you're worth? What you supposed to do as a mandatory?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that Crawford can do on his end at all, because he's not the person that
Crawford can't do nothing. It's Sean who could petition and take this damn thing to purse bid. Do what freaking Tio did. Yeah. You know this fight gonna be big, man. I'll buy this pay-per-view right now, and we know this is a bigger fight than Camposas versus Tio. They got $6 million purse bid for that. They got a bid for $6 million. So I know Crawford and Porter could get a $10 million bid. I know DAZN will be interested to pick up the fight. Triller will be interested to pick up the fight. So I'm saying, why have Sean Porter not petitioned yet? What is he waiting for?
Man, that's the golden rule, man. You got me stumped on that one. I'm wondering the same thing. I think people need to start putting Sean out for that. I thought you wanted to fight.
Right. And at the end of the day, talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words, right?
No doubt.
That's
No
what I'm
doubt.
saying. So if in this
No doubt.
situation,
Yeah.
since Terrence Crawford can't do anything, who you blame it on?
You gotta blame it on Bob, like always. Like
Man,
you
you're gonna
always
blame
do.
Bob. You're gonna blame
You gotta
Bob.
blame Bob,
What
man.
about Sean? Why you don't say Sean because he didn't want to
I
petition?
mean, I can't. No, I can't. You gotta give it. You still gotta give it some time. You can't believe. You can't put it on Sean just yet. We still gotta give it some more time. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, hold
I
on.
believe
Okay,
you still gotta give it a little bit more time.
I know, but I'm saying this. You know, we can't really blame Bob because Bob looking at the sake of his pocket, like he looking at his pocket, it's getting tight with this pandemic.
Yeah.
He ain't trying to give nobody no money, right? But it's up to Sean to make the right business move. Sean said out of his own mouth, he said, listen, he said, I know the business in and out. He said, I know I'm the mandatory, so I could force the fight. So all he's saying is, what the hell are you waiting for? Shit, we've been waiting for Sean Porter to we've been waiting on Sean to press for this fight and force this fight 6 months ago when Crawford beat and knocked out Kell Brook, right? So it's been a long time.
But think about this. Think about this though. I mean, they don't have no problem pressing the fight when it comes to Pacquiao. And Pacquiao, I mean, Pacquiao talking about he won 40. They want 40 million, and then Crawford only gets 10. That ain't even close to 50.
But you do know
that's so bad.
Yeah, but that's a different situation because Pacquiao is a super mega star.
Errol,
don't Errol want to fight him too though? Don't Errol want to fight him too? Didn't
he said he want to fight him?
Yeah, then Errol said that's the main fight he want, right?
Right. 60-40.
Yeah.
60-40.
Yeah, well, we don't know. We don't know what Pacquiao asking for. If he's asking for 40 against Crawford, he asking for 40 against what's his name? Errol. But let me say this, he wasn't asking 40 from the jump. He asked for 20 million. And then when Bob said we could do that, he was like, oh, yeah, I really could do that? Well, I'll change my mind. How about 40 million? So in a way, he's saying no to the fight in a political way, pricing yourself out. So that's not Crawford's fault. Again,
can you agree they haven't gave up? Can you agree that they haven't gave up on trying to get this fight with Pacquiao?
I mean, you shouldn't give up as a promoter. You should try to negotiate. I don't know what's going on in negotiations, but I know the 40 million is not. I don't think they could deliver that. So I don't even think that's possible. But what I will say is, forget the Pacquiao fight. That's not going to happen. The Pacquiao gonna fight Mikey, from what I heard, because the money he asking for Crawford is not deliverable. They're not going to be able to deliver that. But what Crawford could do, he could fight Porter though, and because see the Pacquiao fight would have put him in an A-side status. That's his Floyd Mayweather. That's his Oscar De La Hoya. That's his golden ticket to becoming a superstar and a pay-per-view star. But Porter is like a fighter. You know, I mean, obviously he's not a Pacquiao, but he will put respect on your name. He will put the stamp that people have been asking for, as far as
I think it's a legacy fight.
Yeah, like Errol Spence best wins. Errol Spence best wins is Kell Brook and Porter at 147. So if Crawford could do the same, he already beat Kell Brook, and now if he could fight Porter and beat Porter, especially if he could do it in a better fashion, now we talking. You know what I'm saying? The hype is real. Now the fight of the decade. You know, is back cooking again. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is, for us to even get there, who are we waiting on?
Man, I mean, they waiting on at this point, waiting on Sean.
Yeah, we waiting on Sean. So like you gonna call out Sean, my brother?
They can't have the same energy.
Yeah, we gonna call out Sean because.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's what I said. At this point, at first, you know, when it first came out, I was, you know, I'm like, okay, well, you put it out there. What you gonna do? What you gonna say, Crawford? And after Crawford, you know, after it came down, it didn't go through. Crawford like, okay, well, you know, if you want this fight so bad, then push for it. You know what I'm saying? Later, take it to first bid, like T.O. did, and let's see what's popping.
And that's what I'm saying.
Since it hasn't went through, you know, since he hasn't pushed, I'm wondering what the heck is going on, honestly.
Yeah. And let me ask you.
You already know how it is. You can't be talking that.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I agree. You can't be talking all that and not back it up with action.
You can't be talking that. Yeah, you can't be talking that mess, and then you ain't got nothing coming back from it. The same situation with Charlo. You know what I mean? So
hold on.
well,
But I do want to I want to go somewhere with this. So if Sean doesn't petition and force the fight, who you blaming it on?
Man, I mean, at this point, I hate to say it, man. I mean, right now, it's on Sean.
All right, that's all I'm saying.
It don't go through. If the fight don't happen.
Yeah,
if the fight don't happen.
Well, it's in Sean's hand. He a mandatory. If Terrence Crawford doesn't fight Sean next after he petitioned and forced the fight, he will give up his belt like Canelo did, right? And we all know he ducked him. We all gonna be like, oh, Crawford, you ducking Sean, man. You gave up your belt like Canelo did, right? But I promise you right now, I promise you, Crawford is cut from a different cloth. I'm telling you, you guys sleeping on this brother. This man could fight his ass off.
I don't know, man.
And I'm telling you right now, hold on. So you saying I don't keep the same energy towards Crawford. So I'm trying to figure out what am I not doing. So can you inform me what I haven't done for, you know what I'm saying? Because you're saying I'm not keeping the same energy. I don't see any criticism for me to criticize Crawford. Besides bad business decisions, I mean, maybe he re-signed with Top Rank, but I can't criticize his business decision. I could criticize him as a fighter, as like fighting the best and fighting who you're supposed to. But if you're calling out the best and you want to fight Errol, you want to fight this guy, I can't criticize you for a business decision that I disagree with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, his energy changed when it comes to Porter. He don't want to fight Porter.
He is mandatory, though. We already agreed. We already agreed that he is mandatory, so he could force the fight. So this is on Sean.
I'm just talking about his energy. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't have that same energy, and he don't talk that shit. Like he said, okay, wait, you know what I'm saying? You gonna get yours? You know what I'm saying? You gonna get yours like he got something else lined up. But what does he have lined up?
Oh, he had Pacquiao
Nobody knows
lined
what
up.
he has lined up.
He had.
I know you don't know what he got lined up.
Well, Bob keeps telling us it's Pacquiao.
No, you know it ain't Pacquiao. You said it ain't Pacquiao.
I mean,
Pacquiao ain't gonna fight him.
Yeah, Pacquiao negotiating with everybody, but I'm saying Pacquiao ain't gonna fight him because he keep overpricing himself. But that don't mean they're not in negotiations. Right. So I'm pretty sure they are negotiating behind those doors.
So who he got lined up?
Porter is who's lined up.
He ain't gonna go up to fight Charlo. So who he got lined up?
Porter.
He said hold on. He told Porter hold on, like he got something else lined up.
To see if the Pacquiao situation is gonna happen and confirm that Pacquiao doesn't want the smoke. If he doesn't, he move on and fight Porter. But if Porter doesn't want the fight and he don't, if Porter doesn't take Bob Arum offer, and he not going to take Bob Arum offer, he should go ahead and petition right now to force the fight. That's all I'm saying. And you agreed, right? So we on the same page on that. So other than the Porter, there's no criticism, right? There's no criticism there.
I don't know, man. It seemed like he ain't, like I said, he don't. My criticism with him is that he doesn't seem like he really wants that smoke with Porter. It just seemed like to me. Now Porter, if he don't go through and do what he's supposed to do, it's obvious it's Porter's fault. But I just feel like out of everybody that's out there to fight, he really don't want that smoke with Porter. And me and you can agree, Porter probably would be a harder fight for him than Errol Spence.
Let me say this first of all. I think Crawford always. I don't see him shying away from anybody. I think Errol. I can't tell. I think Errol. He's so good that he has so many levels to him. So I can't say if Errol. If Sean is a tougher fight. I think Sean is a good fight. It all depends if Sean could take certain elements away from from Terrence Crawford, like his best attributes. But Terrence is so versatile. It's hard for me to see that. I think if Terrence fights Sean Porter the way he fought Jeff Horn, I know Sean is more crafty, but if he fights him that way, I see Terrence beating Porter very comfortably, possibly stopping him. Porter is a dog. I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight. Yeah, man. The unique thing about let me tell you the unique thing about Crawford is not the fact that he one of the best boxers in the world, and he's #1 pound for pound. Nah, this man is a pound for pound puncher, man. He stopped everybody at welterweight. You got to deal with power, speed, IQ, defense, switching stances. Man, this man, I'm telling you, man, this man is a problem. I keep telling you this. And if Sean takes this fight,
you could have went in there. You could have went in there and beat them dudes that he beat, man.
Man, you know, man, he just beat Kell Brook, man. He beat Kell Brook.
Jeff Horn, man.
Kell Brook.
Kell Brook looked like he sniffed the line before he went in there, man.
Man, he said he was in the best shape of his life. He said he was in the best shape of his life and all that. You know what I'm saying? So and he looked like he was in a good shape.
Crackheads coming to the neighborhood.
Yeah,
the crackheads coming in the neighborhood talking about they got some good chains for sale. You know what I'm saying? Just buy this chain I got for you.
Yeah, but see, you know, I remember when Errol fought Kell Brook, he had all type of excuses ready. You know what I'm saying? He was coming down in weight too. You know, he was coming off a loss too. So if we're going to discredit Crawford for fighting Kell Brook, we got to discredit Errol for doing the same, because it was a damaged Kell Brook too. You know, when Errol fought Kell Brook, he was coming off a loss, an eye surgery, and moving down in weight.
At least he was active, though, Key. He was at least active.
Yeah, but Crawford was coming off a beatdown.
Off of not being active.
Yeah, but he was coming off a beatdown, though.
Man. He was.
Yeah, but he was coming off a beatdown now. Like, you know, Gennady Golovkin stopped him in 6, you know, broke his eye socket. At least that wasn't the case when he fought, what's his name? Terrence Crawford. And let's one thing for sure. Let's make this clear. Who's the best welterweight in the world right now?
I mean, I gotta give it to Errol.
Well, he want to fight Errol
based on accomplishment.
Yeah, well, he want to fight Errol. So I mean, if you want to fight the best, you got my support. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to fight Errol, now it's one thing if he don't want to fight Errol now. Now, if he came to the deep, we know welterweight is the deepest. No, I'm saying it's one thing if he didn't want to
fight him.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Crawford said he don't want to fight him.
Man, you know he's talking about Errol talking nonsense with the 70-80-20 split. So he's not trying to entertain that. He like, man, you know what? We ain't gonna fight. You know, he mad at that. He said he don't want it. Let's all be honest. Even Shakur came out and said that Errol need to chill out with the 70-30 split. He said Terrence earned his just due. Give him his credit. So it shouldn't be that big of a split. So Crawford is obviously not entertaining Errol Spence for saying, why you came to my fight? I'm not fighting you next. I would never get to go to your fight. These things came from Errol Spence first. Let's make it clear. Crawford always wanted to fight, and he said, you will be remembered for ducking me. And it is Errol who continued to go farther and farther with a split. Now, a lot of people say when Errol said 80-20, he's trolling. Now, at the end of the day, I know Errol Spence for being the truth. I don't know Errol Spence for being the troll. So I only know Errol Spence the truth. So I don't believe no trolling. When he says these things, it's not a good look on his behalf. So Crawford he don't have time to entertain, 80-20 and all this talk when they're not fighting next. So why would he entertain that when Errol already said, I'm not going to fight you next. I'm not going to fight him next. So why will he entertain negotiations in public and purse splits? You know what I'm saying? So we can't take his words out of context. We can't take his words out of context. He talking about.
But they keep asking. They keep asking about it. People keep asking him in every interview.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my camera died on me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, at the end of the day, we'll see when the fight happens. I truly believe it's gonna happen, though. You know what I'm saying? And let me answer this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is yes, sir. Appreciate it, my brother. All right.
Yeah,
but you need to stop giving.
Man.
You need to stop
looking at the show, bro.
Yeah. You need to stop. You need to start giving Crawford a hard time, man. Give him some credit, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate it, man.
All right, my brother. Thank you. My camera died, so I'm ready to, leave. OG Swag, man, you harsh, man. Man, OG, man, you harsh, bruh. So is Lomachenko still a franchise champion? Question mark. Since you can't lose the belt. Yeah, well, the WBC changed the rules again. They went from saying the belt can't be transferable to the belts now could be transferable if it's a fighter on the hope list that want to fight. Apparently, you know what I'm saying? You got a petition to get that belt, and you won't have any mandatories. But like I said, it's not a real belt. It's a fake belt. Like Lomachenko said, Loma said that the real belt is the one that Devin Haney has. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Subscribe, click on the notification bell. I'm sorry to everybody that's oh my God, that's a lot of people on the call. Oh, yo, yeah, my peoples, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the people that's tuning in. I'm gonna have to go live one more time this week to make up for all the people that's on hold. I have a lot of people on hold. I truly apologize, but my computer finna die. The camera then died on me, so I'm definitely doing another show, and I will be picking up the calls. Thank you. Subscribe, and we on to the next one.